This episode was previously recorded in front of an imaginary studio audience.
Time for Fun Knife Friday!
Hi, all you boys and girls out there. I know you're here for Skip DeSheau's Fun Knife Friday, but Skip can't make it this week because he's kind of stuck somewhere flying around the country with Southwest. And, they asked me to come in and fill in for him, and I'm going to do that. But first, I gotta go put Jackalope Jake somewhere so he can continue to hibernate. He's hibernating this time of year. You know, he hibernates when the bears hibernate. So I'll be right back, and we'll get the show started. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, boys and girls, it's your old pal Yakima Bob back at you again, ready to start the show for you today. Now, I don't know what Skip was going to be talking about today, but I know there's this open tag going around about neck knives, and well, if you follow me at all, you know I always have myself a neck knife. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be killing a bear with this neck knife, but there's a lot of other things that are crafty that you can use a neck knife for out in the wilderness. You know, like starting a fire, or, well, if it's got a nice 90-degree edge. This one doesn't, but, you know, slicing up things, skinning a beaver or something like that. So that's why I have this neck knife. Now, why neck knife? Well, there's a lot of reasons why you might want to. Hold on. I think that's Skip. Oh, Skip? Yeah, hi, Skip. Yeah, man. Your bag's made it back, but you're not here yet, huh? Yeah. Tobias picked up your bags this morning. I don't know. You're the one who decided to fly Southwest. Where you at now? You're in Dallas. Well, let's see. Where have you been so far? All right. Dallas. All right. And back in Dallas again, huh? And now, have you got a flight coming in here? Tomorrow. Okay. Well, that'll be just in time for the day after Fun Knife Friday. Anyway, you'll be able to make it for next week's show then, right? Okay. All right. Well, we got you covered, buddy. Don't worry about it. We got you covered. All right. Said Skip out. All right. Well, there's enough from Skip. Yeah, but anyway, we're here for neck knives today. And, well, you know, I've always contended that any knife is a neck knife. What makes a knife a neck knife is the sheath. And what we got these days is a lot of sheaths that are like this heavy plastic that are form-fitting. And because of that, you can wear them upside down on you like so, and then you just pull them and they come out, and you can secure them in there without them falling out. And that's what makes a neck knife a neck knife. Not so much the knife, because this knife could obviously be just put in a sheath and thrown in a pocket, or it could be worn around the waist or whatever. But what most people think of when they think of a neck knife is some knife that can be hung around the neck and easily removed from the sheath upside down with a pull downward, which is odd because that's not the way most neck knives work. At least throughout history, that ain't the way neck knives were. Neck knives were just knives that you'd wear around your neck because you didn't have any pockets, or you weren't wearing a belt or something like that. And so most knives a long time ago were probably neck knives. And now people think of a neck knife as something to go around killing people with. I tell you what though, here's a neck knife. Here's one of these newfangled neck knives. Hold on just a second. So here we have this combat ready neck knife, and it's on one of those breakaway chains and such with a plastic sheath, and it's got your combat ready paracord wrapped around the handle. And you know, all you have to do is pull this out and you're ready for combat. And you got this little dinky little knife blade that's about the size of an arrowhead. And tell you the truth, I think what this would be better off for is for unwrapping and making an arrow or a spear and using this as a spear point. But you could, I guess, use it supposedly. There's the chain. Really strong chain there, huh? Broke the chain right in half. They say it's a breakaway chain. But you could use this supposedly as a self-defense weapon. And you got sharp edge right up there. But I don't know. I know one thing. I ain't wearing this one around my neck again. The chain broke. But then we got this one here. It's got a little heavier duty chain on it. Maybe it won't break when I pull it out. And this is a little one by Rough Rider. I think you guys have probably seen this before. I know Tobias has shown this before as a zombie nick. Can you imagine trying to take out a zombie with this knife? Gotta kill it. Gotta get it in the brain. Well, how are you going to get that through the brain of a thick-skulled zombie? I don't think you are. And can you imagine taking on a bear with this thing? I don't think that's going to work either. So really all this is a fancy little box cutter. And I guess you could use it for a box cutter. It wouldn't be a bad thing to have with you for a box cutter. And you could easily keep it around your neck, you know, because maybe you're out there in your swim trunks and a t-shirt and you need a box cutter. So there you have it. You got your little zombie neck knife. Zombie neck knife. Neck knife. Anyway, so there we have that. Zombie neck knife. But like I was saying now, that's not the way most neck knives used to be worn. And let me show you something here. Here's a good one. This here is one of them Rapala knives with a beechwood handle. And this one is designed for, I think this is a small game hunter or something. See that? But it's kind of like a Puko style knife, and it's got the tube style sheath. And if you notice on the back here, it's got a buttonhole in there. And that's actually so you can take this and button it usually to your coat because you're out there in the woods in the winter and you need a knife handy and you're all bundled up in all these heavy clothes and everything. But with this, you could actually, well, you think you could. There you have it. See? You could actually button this into your jacket and you have your knife sitting straight up, but you can actually turn it to the side and hang it off the front of your clothing, off of a button on your front of the clothing. And that's why it's also called this. So this sheath is made so it could be worn in front of you off of a button. Now that's not necessarily a neck knife, but that's about where a neck knife would normally hang. And it's done that way simply so you can do that. So that buttonhole there in the back of your leather, see that? That's so you can hang it off of the front of your gear, you know, off of a button or something like that on your vest or on your heavy parka or something like that when you're out in the woods, because otherwise it's going to be buried down there where you can't get to it, you know, underneath your parka. This puts it on the top of your parka. And the same thing goes for the old Pukos. That's why they got this little clip here, because you could just clip that right in through a buttonhole. Now let's get a buttonhole down here. See that? Hook it right into a buttonhole. And you got it hanging there. See? Like that. And then all you do is turn it to the side, you pull it out, pull it back in. And it's right in front, nice and easy where you can get to it. So a lot of knives in cold weather climates actually are designed somehow so that they could actually be just hung off the front of your gear, you know, off the front of your jacket or something like that. So a lot of knives kind of act like a neck knife. And Native Americans and old mountain men even, what they would do is they would make a sheath like so, and their knife would be just hanging around their neck. And so whatever they were wearing or whatever they were putting on, they could just take the knife and wrap it around there. And like if they're in buckskins, it didn't matter. No pockets. They didn't have it around their waist. Wherever they went, they could just take their knife and put it around their neck and hang it there. And then if they were going into town, they could just take their knife, you know, and drop it inside the shirt. It wouldn't be noticed, but most of the time it would be outside like this. And you know, if you're on horseback or something like that, you got your knife right in front of you, you can easily get it out and put it back in. Now I know these are not hung upside down, but that's the way most neck knives were worn, or that's the way most knives were worn around the neck. They would have a strap, then they'd have the sheath, and the knife would be just like so. That's the way old neck knives were. These days we like to flip them upside down so we can pull them out and act all fancy and tough and everything, but back then it was more practical just to do this. You know, and you could shake it out, and then you're already ready for that classic grip, so you can go and stab a bear just before he kills you. And you know what? Two more knives I'm going to show you real quick that work as a neck knife. Okay, so I'm setting up here for two other knives. Now this one could have been worn around the neck, but I'm just hanging it off of this right here. But if it can hang off of this, it could hang off of a rope around your neck, or off of a chain around your neck, or anything like that. And this is just a Marbles fisherman's knife that really funky looking blade on it and everything, but it's a skinning knife, and it come in handy. So I could see how a person would want to have something like that with them out in the woods. You got looks almost like a claw there. And here we go. See there, Marbles, got the nice fish floating on there and everything else. That's so you can put your thumb on there so you can do some serious scaling, you know, and skinning and such. And this side here, over here, is also sharp. He's got two convex grinds going on here, and it's just, one of them is just for getting in there and gutting, and the other one is for you know, your basic skinning and scraping and everything. So that's a little Marbles fish knife. Been around forever, but you can see here by the way the sheath is designed, it's only got one hole in it, and it's at the bottom of the sheath. And then you got a strap there. This goes in there, and you snap it down. And no way to hold it onto a belt or anything, so you have to dangle it off of something. You can either dangle it off of your fishing gear, or off of your vest, or tie it around your neck and hang it there so you can just pull it out when you need it, you know. And I think we all seen this before. It's your old trusty Air Force survival knife. And what I've done is, if you ever notice, it's got these two holes up at the top. Just pass some paracord through there so I can wear it around the neck. Now why would you wear it around the neck? Well, you might not have pants. You might be in a jumpsuit and there's nowhere else to hook it on. You might not have a belt, whatever, or you just might have been left alone in the wilderness for so long that your clothes are just rags now. And so what are you going to do? Carry it in your hand, or you can just tie it and hang it around your neck. In any case, this also allows you to, if you still had clothes, drop it on the inside or whatever, but you got your knife handy and it's not around your waist or anything. So do you need to do that? Not necessarily, but you can do that. And that's why this sheath has these holes up here, so you can tie it into a vest. You got the straps for putting it on a belt, but you can also just tie it and hang it around your neck if there's no other way to hold the knife. So that's why those holes are actually there. It's purpose designed that way, so you can wear this around your neck like the old mountain men used to wear their knives. But this is the old-fashioned way of wearing a knife around the neck, and it's a very practical way, especially if you don't have pockets or anything. But this day and age, when people think of neck knives, this is what they think of. Some kind of hard plastic sheath, a craton sheath or something like that, that is pressed against the knife so that you actually have to pull the knife out to get it out. And when you put it in, it's snug. It isn't going to fall out and cut your foot off. You don't want to wear this upside down, because if that snap gives way, you lose your knife. So hanging a knife upside down around your neck was kind of stupid a long time ago. That's why they were worn this way. This day and age, you can actually wear the knife around your neck upside down and pull down. And you know, if you got one like this, and it's combat ready, then you're ready to take on the world. Yeah. Actually, I guess any blade is better than no blade when it comes to self-defense. But I'd rather have a bigger blade, especially if I got to take on a bear. This is all you're going to do with a bear with this knife. Well, you might be able to pull a tick out of his butt, but other than that, you're just going to piss him off. Probably piss him off if you try to take a tick out of his butt too. Anyway, that said, I guess I'll let you go. Hopefully Skip will be back by next week, because I sure don't want to have to do this. I'd much rather be telling you about the horrors of dealing with bears in the woods. Right now, I gotta go check on Jake, make sure he's still hibernating, and then maybe later on, once he wakes up from his hibernation, me and him can go look for Sasquatch. Talk to you guys later. There you have it, Knife Chatter. Another Fun Knife Friday in the books. Remember, if your knife's not fun, you're doing it wrong. Skip out.
If your knife's not fun, you're doing it wrong, and Skip Out are registered trademarks of Skip DeSheau's Enterprises. This has been a Cat Production presentation. All rights reserved.